Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone can hear me out there. Hope everyone can hear me because last time we had some uh, tech issues with the audio. Hello, 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 everyone. I'm so excited about this conversation. My name is Miss Penny. I run the Chemistry YouTube channel, the TikTok platform. You can follow us on Instagram as well, Spiritual Roots Hoodoo Community. If you're interested in our community, the link is in the bio. Uh, yes, and if you're interested in the reading, you will have to get in my DM and get that set up. If you're interested in any readings, this is a much, much needed. I think I needed to go over this again, you guys. And I'm glad someone brought it up in our community because they were very interested in collective rituals. And I haven't heard anyone uh, talk about it in the way we're going to have a discussion about it today and really talk about the benefits of collective rituals and gatherings when we come together and how you're seeing it today. So, this is going to be an interesting conversation. And then it shows you, too, how your community should be working for you. How you can have your community, especially spiritual communities, how it should look when you're truly getting spiritual support and the spiritual, what I want to say, the variety of spiritual uh, options you have in approaching, everyday life issues. Hello, hello. I am Energy. Hello, hello. This is going to be a very interesting discussion, and you're going to really understand collective rituals and how you go into them. Okay, you're probably going to be more mindful after the day, after this discussion. You're probably going to be more mindful of how you enter into rituals or how you go into gatherings. And we kind of we've touched on this subject a little bit, but we're going to go more into it. So if you're in our community and you're in the hoodoo community, and this is one of my favorite parts about it. I've always dreamed of having such a gathering like this with people, but there are things that must be addressed to really have a good collective ritual. And so we're going to talk about those things today. Hello, elevated earth angel. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite subject. Hi, Tori King. So we have some people in our community that's in the chat that are engaging in this video as well. And I hope you guys are learning things in there. Okay, so I wanted to bring something up, and I want to address my community only. I recommend if you're in our community, the best thing, and you're going to hear me say it again, and I'm sorry that I'm repeating it, but I believe, you know, that people get so sidetracked with other things, you get distracted. The most important thing you can do is review the information and learn your practice. Most of the questions that you have, I promise, if you go through your resources, you're going to find the answers to those questions. Please don't take a shortcut. Get in there and do the work. Look through your resources. I know when you have not been looking through your resources. And I'm saying this for a reason because you go to asking me a lot of questions to answers that are already in your resources. Basic information that are in your resources. Look through them. You're not, you know, I don't know what's going on when this happens, you know, but please don't try to take a shortcut with these spirits, okay? With your spiritual journey. Do the work because your spirit guides are sitting there watching you. You ain't tricking nobody. Please don't do that. You ain't doing number crossing yourself up. Do the work. You have all the resources in there. If you're looking for something particular, I will send it to you. If you go over the resources. After you go over the resources and you still have questions, bring them in the monthly meeting. That's what the monthly meeting is for. Ask questions, get involved. I know who's truly doing the work and who is not. Okay? You have so many resources and there is absolutely no reason for you to be confused. And you should know the answer to basic questions. Okay? If you go through your resources, you're going to find the answers. And there's enough resources through videos, lectures. I don't know why you would be confused. You may have some questions after you review your resources, but we're so thorough over there that you shouldn't really have many questions. And if you do, you'll be probably bringing them to the monthly meeting. Okay? Especially now repeated I've done a lecture on it several times. I said a video on it several times, and you're asking me the same question I just went over. You're letting me know what's going on there. Okay? So review your resources. If you have questions, you want to bring them to the monthly meeting, bring them to the monthly meeting. Get involved in your community. Ask questions in the chat. Okay? Get involved. The more you're going to get involved with it, the better your journey is going to be. Okay? Any questions about that? Anyone in my community? Any questions about that? The more you ask questions, the more you show up to meetings, the more you engage in the practice, the better it's going to be. Okay? All right. So let's go on. Let's go on and start with group ritual. Hope everyone can still hear me out there. Group spiritual ceremonies are intentional gatherings where individuals come together to experience healing, grounding, mindfulness, connection through shared ritual practices. These ceremonies have roots in ancient cultures worldwide, from indigenous traditions to Eastern practice to modern spiritual communities. So there has always been spiritual gatherings. Why? Because they're very powerful. When we bring our ashe together, when we bring our intentions together, it is very powerful. It is it can really move things very quick. Okay? Group manifestation rituals harness the power of shared intention, transforming individual desires into a collective force capable of influencing reality. By understanding the mechanisms behind this process, we can see while working together with a unified purpose often yields results far beyond what one person can achieve alone. We can get a lot done when we all come together. That's why they got to get you to believe a certain kind of way in these programs, because they don't work without the power of your attention. That's why, they got to get the mind control works better in groups and what they're trying to manifest into what they're trying to get done. Like I said, people are profiting off your energy in so many different ways that you don't even realize, because we don't think about it sometimes. At the heart of group manifestation is synergy, the idea that combined energy of individuals aligned toward a common goal becomes exponentially more potent than their separate efforts. When the minds and intention are aligned, they create a unified energetic field, which is what we want, what we want in our ritual to use our work, to move our work, especially when you have a big group that's coming together for prosperity work, for healing work, and things like that. You will see a shift and change. You will see stuff move. Group rituals also, yeah, the principle of collective energy translate into a real world benefits that individual practice often struggles to achieve. These advantages across energetic, psychological, and social dimensions, creating a fertile ground for transformation. Group rituals also provide a built in support system. The collective energy of the group ensures that even if one participant momentarily loses focus, the ritual's integrity is preserved. Studies show that working or meditating together toward a shared goal strengthens the bonds and produces measurable positive effects, reinforcing the collective belief in the process. This is very powerful work. Now, a lot of people are using it for the wrong reason. I've seen pictures of people in some of these today on social media, they're getting these groups and trying to do work. A lot of people trying to do work on one individual. This is the other drawback with this: when you don't have proper leadership and proper spiritual development, this can end up in raggedy stuff like this. Okay. So I've seen people, pictures of people don't even know they being worked on. They got these private groups with these people pictures on Muppets and puppets and stuff, and they are doing work on them, and not good, not good work. Okay. So this is the drawback that I have with this. This is the drawback that I have with this. Okay. Wherever two or three are gathered, spirits are there to assist with the intentions. They tell you that in the scripture, where two or three or more gathered, I am in the midst. The spirit is going to move. They've already let you know that. Okay. There's energy with it, that's why you got to be so careful with that gossip too. You got a lot of people gossiping, look, gossiping hens, they just always gossiping. You have to shut that stuff down. Whether they knowingly or unknowingly do it, they doing black magic. And if you know that's going on, you got to shut it down, because that's going to end in a spiritual attack on you, a psychic attack on you. That's what's going on there. That's why you need to be careful when you start getting into this. Watch your mouth. You, most of if you just started your journey, your mouth should always be closed. You should be trying to keep it closed as much as possible. Your ancestors should be telling you to be quiet. A lot of being quiet should be going on right now. You should just be observing. You shouldn't have nothing to say. When you do have somebody got something to say about somebody, you praying for them people. That's all you got, and you walk away. You don't got time to be. That's really sad what's going on in them. They must need to be healed. And you walk away. You don't engage. Okay? We're not leaking no energy into no regular stuff. We don't care about other people, but they got we praying for them people. We praying for ourselves. Okay? You're gonna have to learn it. And hopefully your ancestors got you being quiet. And if you ain't learned it, you better learn it real quick, or you're gonna be doing a lot of uncrossing work. Okay? That's why I tell you, when you first get in here, be quiet. Be quiet and watch how you're saying stuff. Okay? I don't know what you mean by that, Gerald. What happened to the pictures? Can you not see me? I don't know what you mean by that. But be careful what you're doing, where you're saying, and then the crowds that you're hanging in. When you start this spiritual lifestyle, it's gonna feel like isolation, because you're gonna see all the regular stuff that people doing, that you need to keep your energy clear. You just gonna feel like that. Okay, it ain't gonna be no whole bunch of friends like you think it's gonna be a kumbaya and all that stuff. Cause a lot of people like raggedy stuff. They normalize raggedy stuff. This is the word. And most of you come with, I'm by myself. You gonna be by yourself, because not many people are conscious. They're leaking energy everywhere. They have no idea that they're leaking energy. You're not. You're more conscious of how you are uh working with your energy. Hopefully your ancestors, because they had sure had me keeping my mouth shut. Walk the other way, get somewhere and sit down. If you know that's one of your weaknesses, then you need to refrain. You need to quarantine yourself and get yourself together. Okay, so this is real work over here. We're not better than people, but we know how energy work. We know how powerful our words are. We know how powerful our energy are. So you're going to be spending a lot of time with by yourself, especially when you realize how you're leaking energy with your friends and your family, and you're not directing it in a way that is going to benefit you. Hopefully you're realizing it. If you're not in our community, especially if you're in a know thyself member, you realize how you leaking energy, and you start to preserve it. Be more conscious of it and doing your own work. Okay. Does anybody have a problem seeing me out there? Because Gerald said he has a problem seeing me. Hopefully everyone, I have no one said that but Gerald. So hopefully everyone can see me out there. Okay, so be careful with your energy. I don't care what you see other people out here being reckless and trying to be spirit. That's a red flag. Okay? When you see folks out here just being raggedy and all this kind of stuff, ask what kind of spirits they're working with. Okay? Especially if you're a beginner, you're just a baby in this. You need to be trying to keep yourself as clear as possible. Okay, when I first created this community, I introduced this work, but I don't think our community was ready for it and did not understand how powerful this work was. Now, I introduced this collective ritual in our community when it first began, but I don't think our community really understood the importance of it. Uh, had people coming in there tired, had people coming in there not focused, walking all around in they, rooms and stuff like that. I mean, I don't like that. And so I just quit it. I don't like a regular ritual. Don't come in my ritual. If I'm going to be leading the ritual, I want my stuff to work. And I don't need you coming in here with your raggedy stuff and uh not respecting the sacredness of what's going on because you don't think you're serious. Don't come. If you think you can walk around and play, did your mama let you walk around and act the fool in church when that preacher got serious? No. You set your butt down somewhere and you got real about it. And if you didn't, she was pinching you or hitting you in your mouth. You was gonna sit down somewhere. The same applies in these rituals. Don't come to mine's raggedy. And you don't mean what you say. You don't want what you say you want because if you would, you wouldn't come in there. You wouldn't come in there like that. Not with asking spirits for help. And some of you going in rituals like and then get mad, that's what I was experiencing when I first bought this. People didn't like the fact that I had set so much criteria for it that they didn't want to come. Well, don't come. Just let me know how much you have to work on, to get serious about. You're not for real. And that is my goal to really uh find people that is serious about ritual that want to see shift and change and do the work and we move some stuff. But not many people are serious like that. You want to get in here and play. I'm just telling you the truth, how they was coming in there, how you were showing up, and how you show up to your ritual matter. It must matter because our ancestors putting on their Sunday's best, they Sunday's whites, they was testifying. It matters. They weren't trying to doze off and sleep and stuff. They was engaged in church the whole time. That's how you should be engaged in your ritual. They kind of gave us a framework how a ritual should look, but you didn't know what you were looking at. Okay? And people think they can come to these events and stuff. Well, me, I'm strict about it because I don't want to do it over. I want to come right the first time. I know the importance of ritual and how important it is when you get it the right time, get it right the first time, and the shifts you start seeing shifts happen. See, I know what to do. You don't. And if you don't and you don't take it serious, that's why I just did away with it because people didn't understand it. But now I'm going to give it greater context here so you can understand why Miss Penny said, don't come in here doing that. Don't come in here do. If you doing this, just don't come. If you got to come in and out the rich, just don't come. Just sit out because we don't need you, weakening the energy of the ritual. So just sit out. Don't do it. Okay? That's the best thing to do if you're not serious. And then you're gonna see too, how you've been going in the ritual and why it wasn't effective for you. Because that matters. Energy level, that's why different people can perform. Michael Jackson could perform by himself because he had the energy. He had the star power. Yeah, you gotta go in there like with ritual just like that. If you ain't going in there with that, it's the type of energy. Beyonce can perform by herself. Why? Because she has star power. She can get out on that stage and she can perform. And then you have some people who are singers. Their voice got enough magnetism in it to move things. So you're gonna have to bring that in there. Don't come in my ritual being all raggedy, dragging your feet. No, don't. I don't. Stay home. Stay home. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to be ugly, but stay home. I don't need that kind of energy because I'm here. I'm trying to get some stuff moving. I don't need you in here dragging your feet, yawning and bored and tired. Stay home. Don't participate because you only setting yourself up and you ain't gonna see nothing move with that type of energy. Okay? And then I'm a fire sign too. I initiate. I'm gonna get it started. If anyone, if you've been in a ritual with me in the past, you probably thought, "Oh my gosh, Miss Penny is putting so much ritual. I mean, so much emotion and so much into the ritual because I did not come to play. If you came to play, you stay at home. You get out there and you yell and you holler for all them raggedy people that don't do nothing for you. And then when it's time to really give gratitude and shake and move something for yourself, now you tired. But you can holler for Beyonce, you can holler for these other folks, but you can't holler for yourself. Come on now. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Come on now. And these folks don't know nothing about you. But it's time to go into your ritual and move something in your life and thank spirit for what your ancestors and stuff been doing for you. Now your mouth can't move. Okay? Let the church say amen. And you do it, you sure do it. That's why I say I shut that thing down. You ain't coming in here with that. Okay? And then now you complaining, my ritual don't work. I've been doing the ritual. Why? And if I was to see you, if I was a spirit looking at you, I wouldn't move either if you coming to me like that. It matters. But you want to tap into your ashay. You ain't gonna never tap into it. Your ashay is your happiness. Your ashay is your gratitude. It is your celebration. It is your dance. It is your voice. You use it everywhere else, okay? Use it with people don't even know nothing about you. Ain't did nothing for you, but you hollering and jumping up. I guess we having church today. And we have to be, and that's when I stopped it. I'm gonna be careful about who I go to ritual with, cause you're gonna have to be for real with me. If you ain't, then I'm not doing nothing with you, cause I know how my work move. I know how I'm coming up in the ritual, baby, because I come to move something. I did not come to play. I'm gonna act a fool up in here because the spirit had done too much. I'm seeing stuff move every time I clap my hands, open my mouth, pat my feet, and open my mouth. Something move every time. I didn't come to play. I don't know what you come to do. And you ain't gonna come here and play with my time. You can do it on yours. And when you start seeing how this works, you're gonna be very careful. But see, you don't know how it works. And a lot of people they thought I was being strict in the community. I'm trying to help you. But you can come out here, you can go out here with this fluff if you want to. I don't care how many horses and stuff they got meditating with them and goats and oh Lord, I done seen all sorts of fluff. It's unimaginable fluff I done seen here that people just eat up and love and it don't mount to a hill of beans. You can go out there as you want to. I'm gonna do it the same way my ancestors been doing it and it's been working all the time. I don't need to put nothing else new on it. I don't need no glitter, no nothing on there. I need to get in here and get real and get serious. That's what I said. You're gonna do some work over here. If you think hoodoo, you thought you was gonna get over here and not do no work, I don't know what's wrong with the matter with you. We do work over here. Yeah. With any spirit, you gonna do some work. And if you didn't come over here for that, I don't know what to tell you. You ain't gonna get far. How you going to your ritual matters. Because I got a lot of you telling me, I ain't did it, I ain't did it. You ain't been consistent. You know, you ain't reading all the material because I cover all this, how you should go in there. It ain't going to move if you ain't moving. If you come in there dragging your feet, low energy, and all that, that's that longer your stuff going to take. Okay? So think about that. So wherever two or three are gathered in the midst, it's gonna move. You come in there right with the right mind, it's gonna move. While magic can be pursued as an individual endeavor, the power of community in magic cannot be underestimated. It cannot. It is powerful work when you got people coming in there right. If you got the right people in there, I'm telling you, you're gonna see it move. What you're gonna see it move. The collective energy, support, and wisdom found within a community of like-minded practitioners can amplify the effectiveness of spells and deepen the spiritual journey. This is why you see a lot of people too, they can fall in love with their spiritual community. Especially, as I go on, this is going to make sense. Group spell casting can create more potent energetic field, making it easier to manifest desired outcomes. Community and connection, it fosters a sense of community and connection among participants, which can be beneficial for personal growth and emotional well-being. This is how your community should be. Again, it fosters trust and support. Working together with the common intention can develop trust, support, and among the group members, which can be valuable in various aspects. Everyone shares a purpose. Okay, the collective focus and shared focus can strengthen the effects of your work, leading to more significant results. This is the benefit of spiritual community. Like I said, I got this started, began the collective ritual when I first began the community, but I don't think our community understood the importance of collective ritual. And we have someone in our community that was trying to, and I love the way she was approaching it. I love the way she was approaching it and she was engaging. But again, I know some of you are isolated, but you have a community. If you are struggling with something, I assure you, you probably don't want to sleep on collective rituals, especially if you're beginners and you're trying to strengthen your ashe. I don't recommend, especially if you're needing help. Collective ritual is going to be your jam. It's going to help you grow. If you bring, it's going to, lead you to do the personal work so you can show up in the collective ritual more present in your life and supporting your community. You don't know, I know it ain't been explained like this because they done made it, put a lot of fluff on this. But if you show up the right way with the right intentions, this can be powerful work that can change your life and, you know, really, you can really find a sense of a spiritual family when you do this correctly. And that's what I'm in it for. Developing a spiritual family that not only serves my spiritual needs, but I can see this manifest into my physical reality too. Because when we come together, we make shifts and changes, not just in ourselves, but in our lives. It's very spirit. It's the reason why our ancestors did it this way. It's the reason why they're going to church. They're going to gatherings. Human beings have gathered together for spiritual practice for thousands of years. We have gathered to pray, sing, dance, chant, worship, heal, learn, tell stories, share testimonies, honor our ancestors, seek spiritual guidance, celebrate life in transitions, and work towards shared purpose. The modern idea of collective ritual may seem unfamiliar to some people, but when we look across spiritual and magical traditions, we see that gatherings together has always been an important part of spiritual development. You'll see that with covens. You see these women come together. Same, you're gonna see this over and over again. Okay, they're a community of usually women that study nature. Okay, they study, they learn, they perform rituals, and they support one another. They can be formal or informal. Okay, they can be large or small. It doesn't matter. But they're getting together, they're studying their magical rituals, they're raising power together with songs, dance, and chants. They're doing creative expression. They're doing community care, praying for their sisters, coming to work, bringing their power together, praying for their sisters or for the members in the coven. Okay, they meet together. They're bringing their energy together. The group becomes a place where, again, where you can share knowledge, where you can share your practice with others. The same thing that we're doing kind of in our own community. You've seen these groups throughout time and time again, uh, that they are meeting together. However, what you also see, and for this to really work, the group has to have structure. It has to have a framework. People need to understand what they are doing, why they are doing it, who is responsible for leading it, and what is expected of each participant. You see this with Jesus and his followers. Jesus could not have made a big impact without his apostles. Okay? We see his Jesus, we see his followers, and they're following him. And you're starting to see all these spiritual experiences when they begin to pray and they gather together. Okay? You see the same thing. We can see, the same thing. They're not calling it a coven, but it's the same thing that you see in church. Same thing, the same framework. That's what we're looking at, the framework here. Okay? And now you're seeing that framework, especially with organized religion. That's very scary. Uh, you know, that's what that is. We've always kept the framework. Okay? And you see this too when you're looking at the ATRs. Okay? Whenever people gather around spiritual authority, we should pay attention to how the authority is being used as well. You're going to see that all the time. You're going to see that in ATRs. Okay? You're going to see these group rituals coming together all the time. You're going to see a recurring event. Why is this happening? Okay, throughout history, religious institutions have sometimes been used to exercise political power and control communities and justify. That's I'm on another part. Sorry, you guys. Whenever people gather around a spiritual authority, we should pay attention to how the authority is being used. I just went through that. I love group rituals. It gives everyone in your community or group the opportunity to get the extra help getting results from their spells or intentions. When everyone is very focused and intentional, it can yield wonderful results. But the key is to having the right participants to engage in the ritual. This is important. I had to learn that real quick when I first offered this to our community. Now, the way the ancestors have, because I want to be very strategic if I offer this again in our community, there will be a nominal fee to attend the ritual if I was to offer this again. But you guys are free to do rituals up on your own if that's something that you want to do. But if I was to lead a ritual in our community, there will be a nominal fee. There will be a attending fee. Okay. I love it. And the great thing is getting the right people that are doing the work to participate in the ritual. It's not the how many people you can get to participate as well. It's the quality of the people that you have in the ritual that matters. I want someone who can focus, someone who is doing the work, someone who is really doing the work and they honestly want to see shifts and changes happen in their life. Someone who is regularly cleansing, who is regularly meditating, who already got their ancestor veneration going and together. Okay, really someone who is participating in the, because that's going to matter how focused they are in the ritual. I don't want anyone that's desperate, that in survival mode. uh they, they're dependent on me to do everything. They can't stay focused in the ritual. They can't stay off their phone. The dog is barking, the kids is in their ear. I don't want you in my ritual. I don't. You got poor boundaries. I don't need, I need you to be focused on the ritual. I don't care how many is that, that's not important. I don't care about getting a lot of people. I care about the quality of people. Because I know if you're focused and if you're doing the work, it's going to uh give our work is more likely to be successful than somebody who is on and off their phone. The cat is jumping, the dog barking, the kids in and out the room, you walking through the house. That ain't gonna, and they ain't gonna do nothing. I'd rather have you not there. I don't care about the people being there. I care about if you focused on the ritual, because I know it's gonna work. I have to be frank with you like that. Ain't nothing gonna happen if you're going on to these rituals and you on your phone and your mind somewhere else. It ain't gonna happen. And I would rather you not show up, especially if I'm doing a ritual. Just don't show up. You gonna hear me say that a lot. If you think you're gonna be late, if you think you can't control, you can't hold a sacred space. Because at some point when I come back to the states, I'm gonna be doing these probably uh at a physical location, but I'm not at the States right now. We do it on Zoom. But if you can't hold a sacred space of quietness in one room for an hour or hour and a half, I don't want you in my ritual. Your energy, you can't control your own space. I don't want, I ain't, you probably need to look at that. This is why your practice is not going anywhere. You're not, there's no downtime. There is no focus time. This is probably why stuff is not working. Put it together now. I hope you're putting this together. And I appreciate, if I do a ritual, don't show up. If you got to be driving and you can't sit down somewhere, you don't be in survival mode doing rituals with me. That means you got more healing to do. And this is a good, this is telling you too, you're probably missing spiritual work messages, and you have more work to do if you still got this going on. I don't, no, and if you're showing up to a ritual like this is why it ain't working. Okay, this is why it's not working. One of the practitioners brought this to my attention, so I thought I would give it full discussion on the benefits of collective group rituals. This is one of the reasons coven spiritual groups with the right intentions can be a blessing in your life. This community can be a full blessing to someone. It really can. Your community can be a full blessing. It's how you engage. And it should be a blessing to you. If you're serious about ritual, if you're serious about your practice, your hoodoo community, any community that you're involved in, whether y'all doing prayer work together, uh, ritual work together, it should benefit you. And I would love for our hoodoo community to benefit everyone in it. But I am not going to waste my time with people that are not doing the work. You're not. I'll get more ritual work done by myself than wasting my time with people who have not put in the work. I'm not going to do it because I know how my work move. I sit here and watch it move after I do it. I sit here and watch it move and shock myself. I know how my ancestors move. I know how my spirits move for me. How your spirits move for you. And you think I'm going to bring in my spirits into a ritual and pouring into you and you over there being raggedy? Think I'm wasting my time with that? Set my intentions, bringing my all, my ashe in there, my whole praise and worship to move work, and you over there playing on your phone and all that stuff. And I'm praying that good things happen to everyone in this group. I'm putting my all into it, and you over there playing. No, you may not. You better watch how you're going into these. This is the frame of mind you need to have. Because when we're going into these rituals, we're wishing, we're looking at, we're imagining that all of us having a great outcome in our work and our intentions. I'm not just imagining myself seeing results. I'm imagining the whole community getting all their prayers and all their petitions answered. That's how you should be coming in your community. But if you got somebody raggedy and in survival mode and they ain't dealt with pettiness and they jealous and all this kind of stuff, that can have an adverse effect. Group ritual magic is a powerful practice that allows individuals to come together to harness collective energy and intention towards a specific goal or outcome. The collective energy generated towards a shared goal is immense. In magic, the energy can be harnessed to strengthen focus and intent of a spell. When a community comes together to cast spells or perform rituals, the combined energy creates a powerful force that can manifest desired outcomes more effectively. The shared intent and concentrated energy within a group amplify the magical work, facilitating a deeper connection with the spiritual realm. Okay, and something happens to the group too. Now, if this group, and you kind of seen that in that movie, what was the name of that movie with all those little teenager girls and they did the magic? I can't even think of the name of the movie now. But when another great movie is the Witches of Eastwick. When you have these, when you come together like that, you are not only have this energy that you're typing into, the group has a tighter psychic connection, a sort of sympathetic magical bond coats the practitioner. You'll see that the craft. That's right, the craft. You saw that in the craft too, and how they were psychically connected through this energy. And so you'll see a psychic connection happens. You see that too in some of the ATRs in the houses. That's why when you go in some of those houses, you're paying all this money. You have to earn their trust. You got to do character work. You only can participate in certain rituals. You're earning their trust. And the more work you do together, the more you deepen that connection between each other. Okay? That's going to naturally happen. And you see more spiritualists in these houses, they become sisters, they become brothers because of the work they have done together and for each other. And it takes a great amount of trust to do that work together because you have to trust that that person does want the very best for you if you're doing ritual for them. It ain't going to do no good if you have somebody praying for you and they praying for your downfall. They don't want the best for you. That matters. Okay? That matters how you going in there, it matters if you have a connection with each other and you honestly want to see good things happen. You'll see this in your life too. You'll have friends your ancestors want you to get away from because in your face they want the best for you, but behind your back they hating on you. Them people ain't doing them but crossing you up and just sending bad vibes your way. And the more loving people we have in our life that wish us well, the better our life is going to be. So it's great when you can have a community like that. And if you're in a hoodoo community, you know, uh, it I think churches should be doing this. This is the reason why we had to do come up with who do spiritual churches, but the church got away from that and went to prosperity. I don't know what the Freemasons took over and that church just went raggedy. Lord, that's all I can say, ancestors. I ain't gonna even get on that soapbox about that. But this is what needs to be going on. This is what needs to be going on. I'm so glad the member brought it up, and she was really getting it too. She was trying to get everything together. I mean, she was making a list. She was like, "We need to do this. We need to do that." She wasn't getting a lot of a lot of response in the chat when she brought this up. Not as much as I thought she was going to get, but I was definitely supporting her. It was like, I'm with you. I know how important the work is. You think doing spells alone is the flex. It really ain't. Especially if you're a beginner. Yeah. Doing spells alone and doing it, the more you can participate in your community, you can get intentional. It's going to strengthen your magic. So when you do go to your table and you do it, you're going to have more confidence because you've done it in your group. You've seen each other do it together as a group. It's going to build your ashay faster because you get to come together and strengthen those magical abilities. So now when you go to your table and you start petitioning, you're going to be more confident and you're going to see it move because you've already seen it move. Yeah, it's really the opposite way around. But people don't know how to play together because they too busy trying to compete with each other and hating on each other. That's why you got to be careful with that too. Because if people are not honestly doing their own work and looking at their egos and everything, uh, there could be a rotten apple in the bunch. That's where a lot of trust, a lot of care needs to go on when coming in these type of spaces. And this is why I come here and give you full disclosure. So if you call yourself out going out somewhere doing something, you know what you're doing. Okay? Now you can go out and you can go look at this fluff. If you like that kind of stuff, you go out there and you do that. But the most is what I find is people go into these organizations or groups only to find out it was cult like. There was not openness there. Matter of fact, these people often feel like that their gifts were being drained from them because they didn't know how to go into groups or did not know how to go into collective rituals. You getting the 411 here. Now, if you just like regular stuff and fluff stuff, you're doing that because you want to. Anything really that I say out my mouth that you don't like, you know, you're going to have to ask yourself why you like fluff. I mean, because I can't come here and lie because I'm not built like that. My ancestors, they ain't got me built like that. I'm a Sagittarius. So it's going to come out truthful. And sometimes I can't put no sugar on it and I can't put no red bow on it. I got to give it to you like that because you got raggedy folks out here really taking advantage of you. So I got to give it to you like that. As have I lost anyone? Because I'm not gonna give you no fluff. I can't do it. You got enough of that going on out here, and then we got then we got many practitioners that's for real, and we got to fix all the all the other stuff. Any questions before I move on? This is where the sauce is at. This is how your community, your church. This is really what should be going on in the church. Should nobody have no problems with prosperity or getting things done? Because if they were doing this and the church was really coming together praying for the people, you gonna see them spirits moving their life. And I'm telling you, I'm living it right now. I'm living it right now. I'm living it right now. I've said, honey, I can tell these ancestors something, get on and start telling them about my life. And before you know it, they fixing stuff. They didn't fix stuff with my realtor. They're fixing stuff with my, uh, my stay here in Thailand. I mean, I'm living it. Okay. And if you've been up in that church for a long time and it ain't working, it ain't no power in that church. It can't be. You ain't talking to God. Can't be talking to God. If ain't nothing moving. And I'm telling you, if you do the work, you're gonna see it work. I'm living proof of it. I see it every day. And I don't have a word for it. I sat here and cried this morning at my altar. The way my ancestors pushed down people and kicked down doors to get get stuff done for me. I mean, I said, "Oh my God, I could have never cried. I don't even have no words for it." As I said, you have to do it for yourself. When you see it for yourself, you're not gonna play like this either with nobody. You you get your stuff together. You ain't gonna play with people like that. You gonna let nobody play with you. And I'm telling this living proof. I done seen it for myself. When you got yourself right with your ancestors, you got your spiritual lifestyle together, you gonna see your spirits push people down and kick down doors for you to get it done. And ain't nobody gonna be mad either. Okay, it's a special kind of love. Okay, especially when you have a community, and it's even more deeper when you have a community that's helping you do the work, that's doing the work. That's why created the community. That is the vision that I see for the community, and I was happy to see a member that was interested in it. During group rituals, practitioners synchronize their thoughts, emotions, and intentions. The energy generated through this collective focus magnifies the power of each individual's magic, creating a synergistic effect. This intensified energy field not only enhances the effectiveness of the spells, but also deepens the spiritual experience for each participant. The sense of unity and shared purpose within a community ritual allows practitioners to tap into the collective consciousness, forging a profound connection with the divine. Okay, this will level up your magic. If you get the right people in your ritual, the right group, and everyone, that's why covens are so. Uh, that's why covens are so, so popular. You're seeing a lot of people, if they're using the community right, and especially when you see spirit houses and the ATRs, and you see them doing rituals and petitioning spirits together, you got them dancing, singing, drumming, and all of that. All of them are participating in that ritual, and they are getting things done. They are now brothers, sisters. There's a deeper relationship. The same thing happens with any gathering ritual. You'll see that in church ritual too. You were seeing that in church, but you didn't know what you were looking at. And now that I'm here explaining it, I'm I'm helping you understand all the different components of the ritual and how we raise energy and how we get things moving and why each person uh focus is important. I had someone that I was watching a video on, and her mother was an old school. I think they were Pentecostal. They sound Pentecostal because they do this at the Pentecostal church too. But she said that they were getting up early in the morning doing early prayer, and she said the preacher had instructed them to get up early in the morning, don't say hardly anything, and don't be no frivolous talking. Keep your mind focused on God from the time you go into that church until the prayer was done. And her grandmother was very, I think she said her grandmother, her mama, was very specific about telling her to keep your mouth closed and keep prayers on your mind, because he knew the importance of them coming in there with a clear mind doing prayer. It's important you have a clear mind. And even when I'm doing ritual work, somebody calling, I'm not answering the phone. I don't care who you are. I will give you a nice warning and say, hey, I'm going to be busy during this time. I'm going to be in a meeting. And if you choose to call during that time, don't be upset because I don't answer because I told you I'm not talking. You got some people, will try to interrupt that. Okay, but that's important. No matter what's going on with when I get ready to do my ritual, I don't let nothing get in the way. I turn off the phone and all that because I'm intentional about it. I've had people, be like, "Why she ain't answer her phone?" And my daughter had to say, "Well, when she in there, she don't answer phones or nothing. Else. She'll call you when she get done. She always do that." Okay, a lot of them got used to me doing that. I'm not gonna keep telling you that. I call you when I get done. Nothing comes before this. Okay, you ain't fixing my life. The Almighty God and the ancestors fixing my life. Okay, I need to keep myself together. I will talk to you later. I'm like that. Okay, you're gonna be like that too. When they start fixing your life, you get serious about it. You're gonna be just like this too. You get spiritually centered, and you know who you are. Okay, we see examples of this in the occult, Freemasons, and other spiritual groups. This is the fastest way to get results in your magic. Okay, but it also can be abused like any spiritual practice. We've seen people abuse it too. We've seen people go up in some of these houses and they begin, they're not looking at it for that. They are harvesting people's gifts. You got that can happen as well. Okay, I want this can happen too if you have that's why I stop. When I start seeing you come up in there ragged and stuff, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, so watch how you going into ritual. This is something really to consider too. If you're thinking about collective ritual, it's not how many you have, it's how many dedicated, devoted individuals you have that's serious about the work. It ain't gonna amount to a hill of beans if you got a whole bunch of people in the ritual and none of them focused on the same intentions. They still got crud and crap and wounds all on them. It ain't gonna work right. Okay. And I know people when I first began this, I know people just like, "Oh my gosh, she's just so, strict." Yes, I am. You would be too. Okay, this is why I am strict. And so there is no sense if you don't know the quality of the people in the ritual, you don't know who you're dealing with, you don't know the people if they're really doing the work. Why even join it? Why even? I'm not gonna do that if I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, because I don't know them people. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're devoted to that service. I don't know if they really want the best thing for me. I don't know. I don't know if they're really doing the work, if they're really earnest about the work, if they're really developing a relationship with their ancestors. I don't know. You'll hear them say that in those spirit houses too. They want to gain your trust, but they think they're doing it by got you paying a whole bunch of money in some of these places. Mhm. Yeah. Them the services that you're accessing when you go into some of those ATRs. Some of the services that you're accessing. And hoodoo is really no different. It's just that people are not properly educated about the practice, and so you got a lot of fluff going on out here, and people don't know what they're talking about or what they're doing. And when somebody when somebody do tell, come here with the truth, people want something fast, quick. They like fluff. They don't like it, even though they'll get over there and do the fluff. Ain't none of it working. And then they have to run back over here to me and ask me how come it ain't working. Because it's fluff. You don't know how to do that right. You're not doing that right. Well, so and so told me to do it like that. The so and so didn't tell you to do that right, did they? That's why it ain't working. Keep doing everything somebody's showing you on a video. You better be asking them folks why they showing you that. Why they showing you that? Is that all to it? You better start thinking. We need to start having. I like thinkers. Okay, if you're in our community, my aim is, you know, the way I approach the work and the way I approach the lectures and in mentoring you, you're gonna be thinking. You're gonna be thinking a lot. So if you a closed-minded individual, if you come in our community, your mind gonna be wide open because I need you thinking. You got to tear all that crap down. Okay. Working in a group can amplify the energy and focus of each individual, creating a potent environment for spiritual growth and transformation. I would love to see this in our community. I would love to see dedicated individuals that's doing the work and work with individuals that, because I know how powerful it can be when you're for real. Okay, I'm living proof. And I'm just one person, but I perfect my rituals enough to where I can see stuff a shift and change. I've created a environment for myself where I can get desired results. Okay, I've seen it, but this takes some work and me building my own ashay and staying on top of my ritual, staying on top of my ritual and talking to my ancestors how I'm approaching it. Okay, I've seen it, so I know what I bring into the ritual. I know the quality of energy that I bring into a ritual. Okay, so I know it can be beneficial. These examples demonstrate why spiritual communities can be such a powerful part of a magical practice. A healthy spiritual community can provide knowledge, wisdom, accountability, support, healing, friendship, and opportunities for spiritual development. But community also requires responsibility. The more people involved, the more important preparation and structure become. Okay. So even when I was doing a collective ritual with people, we would go over the music, how that music was going to look, what music we wanted to play. Okay, because we need to raise the energy. Or do we want to say chants too? Do we want to include a chant to help raise our energy for our work as well? What else did we talk about? What day were we going to do it during a full moon, a new moon? What time we're going to do this work? It matters as well. Are we going to focus on prosperity? What are the energies are available for the work? Because we're going to look at the day too. We got to have everything in alignment. So I was, sending this information to people in the ritual so we can go over it collectively. All of this matters because you want the ritual to flow as smooth as possible. That's why, you had that itinerary at the church. They let you know how that full ritual of the day was going to go. So you can be in sync with it. Sometimes they give you the hymns or some of the verses, what you were going to be saying, so you can fully participate in the ritual. It's the same thing. Okay. So we want it to flow. That's just like in the band. And then you have some practitioners, they will practice the ritual over and over again. So when the day of the ritual happens, everything flow. You have some people that will practice the ritual. So the day of the ritual, when it's time to do the ritual, everything flows. And sometimes it flows better after time. After you and the community have did the rituals maybe 4 or 5 times together, after the fifth time, everything just flows. You can start seeing, the shifts happen quicker and quicker. The more that you guys do the rituals together and there's a flow that happens. Same thing you would see in church. You see it effortless in church. You have the preacher hollering, hollering, and then you have somebody saying, Amen. The rhythm just begins to flow. Okay. So the same thing you would see in a collective ritual. And we go over all that. How do we want that ritual to look? What day are we doing the ritual? What is the intention here? Okay. During the collective ritual, you might we might have you might have be doing your own ritual, on your table while we're, participating in the ritual, harnessing that energy to foster your spell work. Okay. So the ritual we're participating in is moving your spell work. We might have all different work going, but the intentions is still the same. We're focused on prosperity. So you might be doing some candle work. You might be working with a jar. It may look different, but we're all here because of prosperity. And that is the focus, the work at hand right now. Would it be possible to do ritual sets where we focus on certain things at a time and work our way of things like rituals, cleansing? Yeah, I recommend it needs to be intention. It don't need to be rituals for a variety of things. It need to be one focus and one intention. If it's for protection, do rituals on protection. If it's for prosperity, do rituals for prosperity. If it's for purity, do a ritual for purity. But the time matters too. Like the what is the moon that's coming up now? The moon that's coming up now is going to be great. Full moon that's coming up now is going to be great for road opening work. Now's the time to be doing a lot of blockbuster work, a lot of road opening work now. That this moon that's coming up is going to be good for that. And I think the new moon on the 10th of September or the 11th to 10th September is going to be good for that type of work too. But it matters. The energy, natural energy has to be there uh, to get the results you want. Okay. That's why you see a lot of, a lot of people, if they know what they're doing, this group, a lot of this work is good in groups. Okay. Collective ritual cannot simply depend upon the leader. Every participant contributes something to the working. That is why I continue to emphasize preparation, purification, sincerity, emotional responsibility, spiritual maturity, and clear intentions. The collective is made up of individuals. What each individual brings into the gathering matters. Our ancestors already knew the power of gathering. There is something particularly beautiful about recognizing our ancestors did not need modern terminology to understand the collective power, collective spiritual power. They gathered, they prayed, they sang, they testified, they called on spirit, they supported one another, they created spiritual communities. They understood there is strength in coming together. Collective ritual does not require us to abandon individual practice, spiritual practice. It gives us another dimension of spiritual practice. We can work alone. We can work with our ancestors. We can develop our personal spiritual relationships. And we can also come together with other prepared practitioners and intentionally work toward a shared purpose. That's why, too, I don't blame some of these spiritual houses. They don't just trust you to come in there because of all the work they have built into their spiritual community. And they don't want someone who is not serious coming in there messing it up. That's why you'll see a lot of uh, that's why you'll see a little apprehension in some of those spirit houses or spiritual community because some people come in there raggedy. They come in there to take, and not contribute to the hoodoo community. Now I see a lot of people, they want you to give them all the answers, and this is why we have the hoodoo community meetings. They want to take from the group, and they don't want to study. They don't want to add any wisdom, anything they have learned to the group. You're not going to get far in a spiritual group like that. If you're coming there to take in a lot of spiritual groups, they are aware of that and they won't share anything with you, especially if you didn't come in there to contribute anything. So that's why I say I hope you're serious about the hoodoo community because it can serve you and you can serve it and it can be something beautiful. But if you coming in there with the mindset of of mainstream society with that regular thinking, you ain't gonna get far. Because I seen this young lady in the chat trying to engage the community and no one was responding. But you say you want to practice hoodoo and you want to be in the hoodoo community. I'm gonna hold you accountable, so you ain't gonna like everything I tell you because I want you to do the work. I'm not some kind of mentor that's gonna tell you in and everything you want to hear. No, I want you to grow. And earn sharpens iron. You gonna grow with me. I'm not gonna let you stand still. Yeah, you can take your time, but you gonna move too. You ain't gonna be keep standing in that same place with me. And your ancestors want you to grow. You ain't gonna get nowhere by standing still. And you run around here, I need help, I need help. Well, we had a beautiful sister get in the chat trying to help you, and you weren't trying to do it. Some of you be offered help, but you like some people like being, they like standing still. As much as they say they want their life to change, when it's time to do something different, they won't do it. It ain't gonna if doing the same thing was changing your life, you know, why do why you keep doing it? It can't be working. You gonna have to do something different to change your life. I'm not the mentor. I tell you everything you want to hear. When I tell you to get somewhere and sit down, that's what I mean. If I tell you need to slow down, that's what I mean. And I'm not gonna keep telling you that. Okay, I take mentoring very serious. I take your spiritual path very serious. Okay? So I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to keep you growing. Ain't gonna do you no good. Do me no good to give over here and help you fake stay comfortable and not see no results and stay in one place. How is that helping you? Anything you probably gonna be saying, Miss Penny, get on my nerves. She always telling me I need to be. Yeah, yeah. She's always telling me get somewhere and sit down. She always telling me get somewhere and go study. You always telling me get. Yeah, I sure am. Yeah. She always yeah. Same thing you had your ancestors gonna be doing. My ancestors get on my nerves. They don't never let me do something. Yeah. It's called growing up. It's called character development. Okay. Man, Miss Penny, she always said, yeah, I am. So get used to it. Okay. You say you want a mentor. You want to stay on the right path. I'm gonna help you with that. And you ain't gonna always like what I want to hear, like what you hear from me, because I'm not gonna be telling you the fluff like these folks is doing. I don't care about trying to stroke your ego. I don't care about that. Okay, I care about keeping you safe and seeing you growing. I care about your life healing and being whole. That's what I care about. I don't care about this other fluff you telling me about. Better get somewhere over there and sit down, be quiet, and talk to your ancestors. Try to figure out why you like raggedy stuff. This is gonna happen. Okay, so you might get tired of me saying it, but you said you wanted to grow, and I'm gonna make sure you do that and be true to that. Okay, any questions? And they ain't gonna always feel good, and I might hold your hand while I tell you that, but I mean what I say. Any problems with it right now? If this the kind of mentoring that you want to be accountable, you want to see growth, you want to see change in your life, then get in our community. But I'm not there to make you feel good, no. I'm there to see you grow, heal, and become whole and heal your life, heal you. I don't care about that fluff stuff, so don't come to me with that. All right? And you will be doing the work. You will be doing work on there. Don't expect me to answer all the questions that you have all the answers for in the resources. No, you will work. You will open up a book. You will sit down and you will look because that's what you need to be doing. Getting somewhere and sitting down, being quiet, not watching no more videos, going strolling through. No, you need to be reading. You need to be educating yourself. All the answers in the resources. You're going to get somewhere and sit down and do that. That's the only way you're going to get it. And I'm holding you accountable for that. Okay? And there's enough resources and lectures in our community, you will not be confused. If you're confused, that's because you don't want to do the work. You ain't open no book. You don't care about that. You with the fluff. And if you with the fluff getting over there, you ain't going to make it far. If you mesmerized by me and you trying to follow me, you ain't going to get it like that. You better be following them ancestors and them spirits. That's what you better be following. Don't be following me. Because that's what I'm gonna be pointing you to, your ancestors and your spirit guides. The minute that you go to looking at me, oh, no, no. What do your ancestors say? What your spirit guide say? What you feel on the inside of you going right back to you? Because this ain't that. Do you understand that? Don't be mesmerized by me. I don't want you doing that. That's messing us up. I need you to see the good stuff in you. That's what I need you to do. I need you to look at you. Any questions about that? If you're ready for that, then don't go there thinking, you following me. Nah. I want you to be following you. It's about you. It ain't about me. And if you doing that, then you're in the right place. I'm there. I'm gonna support you every step of the way. If you're doing the work, believe me, I'm gonna be standing with you. But if you with the fluff and all that, I don't do that there. So make sure that's what you want to do over there, because I'm gonna hold you accountable, and I'm gonna expect for you to be doing the work. You're not gonna be confused. And if you're confused, it's because you want to be and you like fluff. Was I very clear on that? I hope everybody heard me. I don't need you following me, because the ancestors talk through me. I'm nothing but a vessel. Okay? I hope we understand that. We can work with our ancestors. We can develop our personal spiritual relationships, and we can also come together with other prepared practitioners, intentionally work towards the shared purpose. That is the opportunity I want us to explore with spiritual roots. We are not inventing the idea of collective spiritual practice. We are becoming more conscious of something human beings have been doing for a very long time. Our ancestors have been doing this for a long time. This is why the hoodoo church was invented. This is why our ancestors was meeting in woods and in spiritual gatherings like this. They've always did this work together. There is power in gathering. And when that gathering is spiritually prepared, intentional, disciplined, and guided by sincere purpose, that power can become a profound part of a spiritual practice. So, yes, this can be very powerful work for the practitioners that are ready to do the work. And I do highly recommend it for any beginner. uh, you're serious about that and you found you some other serious practitioners and you guys have the same goal, you can see some great shifts and changes happen in your life even faster with the right people and the right support. Okay. And that's why you see people in ATRs, they love their spiritual house. They'll tell you, I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world, because they got a gold mine over there. Their spiritual house is when you and they'll tell you, when you find the right one, you wouldn't change it for nothing in the world, because it support their mind, body, and spirit. It's the center of their life. You got some people that go into ATRs, they're in the right spirit house, they're in the right relationships, they got the best godparents, they got the best god siblings, and everything just flows right for them. Now you have a lot of them that's happy over there. And then you have some of them that, you know, that's why I say you got to be careful. If you ain't properly educated and you going over there for the wrong thing, some of them getting the runaround and ain't going nowhere. Okay. But I know how community is, how it can serve you if you have the right people with the right intentions. Okay. In fact, collective ritual requires us to take personal responsibility even more seriously. You are still the practitioner. You are still responsible for your spiritual condition. You are still responsible for your healing. You are still responsible for your thoughts, emotions, intentions, and behaviors and preparation. The group cannot do your inner work for you. You will still have to do that. You will still have to do that. It's going to grow you even more. And that's why you'll see, in any of our ATRs, they're going to have you doing some character work. You're going to be sitting listening to some of the mysteries or the Odu. You're going to be sitting listening to that for a while. It's going to be probably a lot of monitoring going on with you. A lot of time is spent around the houses, cleansing. They probably going to have you doing dishes, mopping floors, getting ready for ritual because they got to see the fruits of the spirits in you as well. They seeing how you can serve, not just how the community can serve you, but how you can serve your community. Same thing you would see going on in the church. You have some people that go in there, they just want to clean up the church because they love doing stuff for the Lord. They ain't for the members. It's for the Lord. Okay, you got people like that. Okay, you got people that want to donate different stuff to the church. They don't. It's for the Lord. There is nothing about that. It's about building character. It's about a closeness, a spiritual relationship. It's why you got some people that go out and do charity work. They do it for free. It ain't about that. Okay? It's about giving back to service, giving back to spirit. See, that's character building. That's just like I told you that woman, Lord, I told you about that supervisor, honey. I want to do something to that woman. And said, you better not. You better go pray for that woman. See? But see, I want to do some raggedy stuff. Okay? And had I not been under my elevated ancestors, I probably would have did some raggedy stuff. But they stopped me. They said, no, ma'am, press ham, you will not. You would get over there and you're going to pray for that woman. That woman needs you to pray for her. Okay? Did I like it? No. Did I do it? Yes. Did it build character? Absolutely. I'm not so quick now to judge people. I'm more like, okay, why they acting like that? What's going on with them? Do they need prayer? It made me look at people differently. Okay, I needed that lesson. They gave it to me. You're gonna be all this petty, messy stuff that you see out here that's been popularized as cute. It's not. It's no spiritual fruits to it at all. I don't care how cute they try to make it be with a pretty face on it. It's not. Spirits don't like that. You ain't gonna get far if you got regular stuff like that going on with you with these spirits. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. You better have some good jewels on the inside of you. Some beauty on the inside. I don't care how pretty you is on the outside. How beautiful are you on the inside? You better be building it. You better be building that inner world. It better be beautiful. You want to see a beautiful life. You better be building a beautiful you. Ain't gonna do no good. You trying to build a beautiful life and you raggedy on the inside. It ain't gonna happen. If you hating on people, you don't want good for nobody. It don't make you feel good to see other people prosper and do good and do well. You mad and all that stuff. You just hate your. It ain't gonna happen. You need to get somewhere and sit down and heal before you start trying to do anything with anybody. You have to do your own work. And if this is you, I don't recommend that you participate in a collective ritual until you can get that crud out of you. That matters. I don't want nobody helping me. You don't like yourself. You don't like nobody. You don't like your life. Now I don't want you on my ritual. You come to the one where we doing the healing. You come to that one and you focus on healing. Come to that collective ritual. Don't come to the one we doing prosperity work and stuff like that. Come to the one we healing because that matters. Okay. And this is why you'll see a lot of this apprehension when new people go into some of these houses, why they're the way they are, and sometimes why you're paying a lot of money. Sometimes this is the reason too, because nobody's finna jeopardize. And it takes a lot of work to build a community where you're doing collective rituals like that together and you become successful in your rituals and you guys are doing something good because you have perfected the ritual. God, I would love something like that. And I'm gonna have it too. Me and the ancestors have been talking about that. I'm gonna have something like that. Maybe some hoodoo graduates. I'm thinking about doing a hoodoo graduate thing around something like this. But it's beautiful when you can have that and you guys come together and you do real work and you see good shifts and changes. It's powerful work. And that's why you see a lot of those houses, they're apprehensive. They have perfected rituals together. They have did manifestations together. They have seen how the spirits move for their group when they come together and do rituals. They know what they got. So they're not letting you come in there and get no free ride and just use them and all that stuff because they know the power of these spirits. And the same thing that happens, no different really hoodoo. Because when you see some of these people that's get initiated uh back in the day in some of these hoodoo groups, it was a community of them coming together. Okay, and it's powerful work. Again, if you got the right people, if the right people have the right intentions. But what I find here today, and ancestors, I don't like it's like that. Please fix it. It's so many people love being raggedy, and so it's so hard to find earnest people because being raggedy is popularized. Okay, so it's hard, and finding people that's focused that ain't playing. Because a lot of people think this is a trend. They just playing. This is not real for them. So it's hard, it's very difficult to find real people that is devoted and real about the work. Okay. Choosing the right participants for your group ritual is essential for creating a harmonious and focused environment. Avoid choosing individuals who may disrupt the energy and dynamics of the group. Negative or skeptical attitudes can undermine the effectiveness of the ritual and distract from the collective focus. I just had to remove, and this was a long time practitioner had been in our group. I had to remove her from the group because of of her behavior. Even though I had, the ancestors had gave me some insight on how to help her. Because I saw some of the things that were going on with her. Ancestors had revealed some things to me about her, and I try to help her as much as I possible. And I addressed the behavior and made her aware of it. But the behavior continued. I'm not going to keep talking to you, especially when you are a grown person. You're a grown person. I've already made. I simply removed her from the group because you can't. You not coming up in here with all that raggedy stuff because you refuse to do the work. You wanna, you know, you wanna criticize somebody else, and you can't even stay focused enough to do your own work. Focus on you. Why you gotta be over here? Why you can't focus on yourself? Why you can't fix yourself? Why you want to fix everything outside you except you? Why? So when I see you doing it and you steady coming in here and you're not getting any better, you're not making any improvements, you're not using the resources, you just want to be disruptive, then you're disorderly. I have to remove you. I don't care about your money. I don't care about you're leaving out of here. Don't give you permission to come in here and bring your raggedy stuff and drop it down in our community. No, you won't. You're giving monthly meetings to come there. You're giving all the resources to reach out and get the help you need, but you want to come there and make this a dumping ground for your raggedy stuff. No, I remove you. That ain't that. And she was politely moved. Okay. Even though I had went over that person, you know, they knew that they had this going on. That's what tripped me out. When I started doing you got this going on. You know we have addressed this. But you gonna continue to do it? Okay, I give you a minute to explain yourself. Okay, you don't want to explain yourself, because I'm trying to understand what's going on with you. I give you the opportunity to explain, because maybe I'm not, I give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you think you're going to continue to play like this, no, I will remove you. I just don't got time for the shenanigans. And I will not allow that our community to be impacted by negativity. I will not, because you refuse to heal. Now you want everybody else to be raggedy because you raggedy. You will be removed. So I hope you doing the work. Ain't no excuse for you to be like that when you got all the resources there. Especially when you're person one showing up to the meetings, one contributing to the community, just one contributing to the community, one adding none to the community. I just like, oh my gosh, why get in this and you lack that much self awareness? If you lack that much self awareness, you don't want to look at yourself. Don't come over here because you're gonna be looking at yourself over here. Okay? You're gonna be looking at yourself. And if you come over here to stop from looking at yourself, this ain't the right place. Need you because the only way this gonna work is you can look at yourself and fix you. If you can't look at yourself and fix you, well, it ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. Might as well just turn around now. If you don't want to fix you, you don't want to work on you, it ain't gonna work. So don't waste your time with that. Okay? Especially if you're older and you know you ain't gonna do nothing, you ain't gonna change, you just want to be raggedy like that. Don't come over here. Don't come over here. If you raggedy like that, and you know you over, 45 or 50, you just want to be raggedy like that. You ain't got no, don't come over here. Cause this change ain't magic is about change and shifting. If you have no intentions on doing that, don't come over here. Don't come over here. I mean that. You got some, you got some people still over there in the Christianity that none of that stuff is working. Then they get mad at you. Your stuff is working. Now you the devil and all that stuff, but they still standing still in the religion that don't work for them. Mad at you and calling you the devil because all your stuff is working. And they've been sitting in that religion for 50 years. Ain't nothing changed about them. They practice ain't changed. They spiritual ain't spiritually growed or nothing. Now if you plan on standing still, don't come over here because I am going to. My job as a mentor is to push you to grow. You want to see these shifts and changes, you're gonna have to grow. And your ancestors if you elevated ancestors, you ain't gonna be liking everything they tell you. So if you think you're gonna get over here and these elevated ancestors gonna be telling you everything you want to hear, I'm telling you, it ain't gonna be like that. In their second childhood, I think I've seen this with the older, you know, it's just a trip. Okay, so do the work. And if you think you're the one that I'm a star seed, I'm the chosen one, I'm the and I'm just the you could be a star seed, you could be a chosen one, you could be all that. And you still got to do some work. Then a chosen one don't mean I don't do no work. I'm telling y'all gonna let this flow and this new age stuff get you caught up. I don't care how much you call yourself a chosen one, a star seed, or I don't care what you call yourself. Doesn't mean that you're not gonna do any work. You can have dreams and all that stuff. Don't mean that you're not gonna have to refine them and do some work. Don't let this new age stuff get you caught up and think that you're an exception to the rule. You're not. You're still a child up under these elevated ancestors. And it's important that you remember that before you get yourself jacked up out here. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to tell you the truth. Help you. You probably don't like this now. You probably a month from now, a year from now. Maybe 10 years from now, you're gonna be like, Miss Penny was never lying. She was not lying. I probably didn't like what she was saying, but she never lied. Trust me. I don't care what you call yourself. You're gonna do some work over here. Okay? Nobody's blaming you. Nobody's saying it's your fault. We're just saying if you want to see uh some positive shifts, some changes happen in your life, you will be doing work. Okay. If you are not emotionally or mentally well enough to engage in the ritual, please don't participate. You will only hinder the ritual if you are dealing with self doubt, jealousy, or lack of doing the healing work. To be well enough to participate, you know if you are not well enough. You know if you are well enough. It is important that we be sincere and open in this work. Okay? The ritual does not need your participation simply because you are a member of the community. If you know you're not mentally well, you know you're not spiritually well, you know you can't focus enough to participate in the group ritual, sit out. Do the healing work first. Do some more work on yourself until you feel strong enough to be able to focus. Okay? To contribute to the work. And everyone, that participate, that have their own roles that they play in ritual. You should participate because you are prepared to contribute positively to the collective intention. This is why shadow work and personal healing are so important in your magical practice. We cannot continually refuse to examine ourselves and then expect our spiritual practice to produce transformation. Ain't gonna work. I'm being perfectly clear to you here. That's what tripped me out when people call in and they want you to do a set lights for them and do a blockbuster, whatever you're doing. It ain't gonna do me no good to burn this candle and you ain't gonna work on the blocks in yourself. You can do as many blockbusters if you want to. Okay, if you know the reason you can't get that loan is because you owe a creditor $500, then it ain't gonna go nowhere until you address that creditor. The block is not gonna come out. You got to physically address that creditor. Now, after you address that creditor and you did some blockbuster work, there might be some provisions for you where you don't have to pay the creditor that much in order to get the loan. You're gonna have to do some work. You ain't nobody just burning no candle and not doing the physical work. As above, so below. It don't make it wash it out the way because you burn a candle. It's got to make sense. And a lot of people is using a lot of this magic to avoid doing the work. That don't mean that. The work that you're doing is supposed to be to support the physical work you're doing too and make it more successful to give you more provisions with it. It doesn't mean you avoid it. That the candle or whatever is the magic's gonna fix the problem. No, you have to be addressing the problem too. We're doing the work to give us spiritual favor and provision to give us more success. That's it. Doesn't mean to avoid. A lot of people doing this to avoid work. That's basically what I'm telling you. They're using magic to avoid. It's not meant for that. No, gotta tell you that too. Some people think there would be no physical participation on their part uh in getting it done. Like it's like taking a pill and it's gonna be cured. No, it's not. You will actually have to participate in fixing something in your life. Okay. We cannot the condition of the practitioner matters, and when we enter collective ritual, our condition matters too, the group as well. Okay, this is why you'll see in some churches you can tell, I remember when I was going to different healing groups, I can tell when the healing group was stagnated. I could tell when a healing group is stagnated because they they got too comfortable with each other. They lost structure and discipline in the group. And I would leave them. I would leave them just right there. I left a lot of groups like that. And then I'll go back. They say, why, why did you leave? Because I wasn't growing. I'm not going to keep staying here and y'all doing the same thing. You got some churches like that. None of the members of nothing is growing. The church ain't growing. Nothing ain't growing. It's because it's stagnated. You got to move if it ain't growing. We got some family members like that. We got some friends like that. We cannot stay with people, the same people, and grow. It ain't going to happen. You're going to be complaining all the time. I ain't got no friends. They can't grow with you. They're not even on your level. Even if you was to start talking to them, you ain't gonna like it, and you don't like what they're saying because you're not even on their freaking what they saying, and you don't mount to a hill of beans. And what you saying to them don't mount to a hill of beans. Y'all don't even have anything in common anymore. So why would you still be friends? Some of your family, they would be your relatives, but they would not be your family anymore. Because you didn't outgrow that family. We outgrow families. And then you go in and you go find you outgrow your relatives, and then you go out and find your real family, your soul family. You will outgrow them. You will lose connection with them because you're no longer on that frequency. Don't mean that you don't love them. You've elevated. And a lot of them ain't elevated. Just like I tell you, all family members are not elevated ancestors. And many of your elevated ancestors are probably not going to be your family members. You're going to outgrow people. So you're gonna be if you think you're gonna have a lot of friends on this path, I assure you you will not. It'll be some far in between. But the ones that you do have and do make, they will be very, very special and cherishable. You're gonna have a lot of friends out here. And that is what's very scary now because a lot of them wearing this spiritual mask uh to manipulate you. And a lot of y'all falling for it. I got the aesthetics on and everything. They got these cute little faces and they got their makeup made up, everything. They got glitter and stuff. And y'all just love that stuff. They fast talking and all that stuff, and y'all love it. And you're falling for it. Okay? You coming on these podcasts and getting a lot of exposure, so y'all just assume that they got the sauce. Just our thinking is so, you know, God. When I look at it sometimes, oh God, ooh, honey. I stay up under me some gospel music and close to that ancestor altar as much as I can. Because the stuff I see, I'm like, oh God, I ain't got words for it. And people are bamboozled by this stuff. It's concerning to me. Okay, got to keep my mind together. Collective rituals should not be confused with everyone simply performing random spells together. It is not a competition. It is not an opportunity to demonstrate who is the most knowledgeable practitioner. Not about that. We might get together and do some work and start pulling from each other's wisdom and making something bigger. That's what it's about. It is about collaboration. It is not a shortcut around healing. It is not an excuse to avoid personal responsibility. It is not automatically more powerful because more people are present. Don't think that. Thank God is for discernment because half of them readers look so unauthentic to me. They're doing the same thing. Some of these people. It's a mass production. I've never seen so much. When I go back and look at how hoodoo, how many of the pale face people found out about hoodoo in our community, and how they did all the marketeering. This what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the era. I think this happened within the 60s or 70s. All this marketeering started going on around hoodoo. And so we had people that didn't look like us trying to sell us our products and putting on costumes and all this other stuff. And Now they want to come out and say they do they hoodoo and all this kind of stuff. It tripped me out. That's why I had to tell it. I say because they can't talk about North American magic without mentioning hoodoo. And I don't care what book they write. I tell you, and I show it to you right there in our community. They cannot talk. No, none of them. And I must say, I'm proud to be a child of my ancestors. But none of them can talk about their spiritual practice without mentioning hoodoo or voodoo. They cannot. They gotta mention us every time. Every time in their fancy little books, in they folk magic, they gotta talk. And they don't say it, they don't talk about it because it don't work. They talk about it because it absolutely works. And they were just mesmerized by our spiritual practices. I mean, they can't focus on themselves long enough. They gonna mention us. If they don't mention us, they gonna mention Egypt. They gonna mention ancient Egypt, especially the way they slapping them cars. They know they need to go later. People have completely made spiritual practice aesthetic. That's what's happening there. And I'm not gonna make it pretty for you. It's not pretty. It's not. Okay. You, honey, it's not gonna be pretty. I can't wait till you develop when you truly have developed a spiritual relationship with your spirit guides and your elevated ancestors in the time they tell you no. Honey, the ancestor told me no. Sometimes I be so mad I be over here punching the air. I'm just like, why? It's like not now. Go over there and do that. You're not ready for that right now. I know you think you are, but you're not. Go learn about this. Get your mind on something else. Okay? Because sometimes they're gonna tell you no. And then you're gonna find out in hindsight, I'm so glad y'all told me no, because I would have did such and such. They said, yeah, that's why we told you no. We knew you was gonna do something stupid. Okay? You're gonna have to take an L sometimes. And some of you have not gained that sort of spiritual maturity. Okay? Stop being mesmerized by people. That's gonna get you messed up. That's gonna get you jacked up. That's what I'm seeing going on here. This is gonna get you. Even when you come to me with that, don't come to me with that. Okay? I'm just a person. The ancestors using me as a vessel. I'm coming to bring you the truth. You the magic. I ain't the magic. You the magic. I'm gonna get you to see you the magic. You got the magic in you. It ain't all in me. It's in you. I don't need you being mesmerized by me. And I don't want you to think that about other people. Okay? Because the funky pair of lips will say anything. These folks say and do anything. They can get on podcasts now, manipulate you. They can get exposure. They can get the fame and not have have did none of the work. And because they got the fame, you just assume they have done the work. Not all the time. They just is at the right place at the right time and got enough exposure. So now they can manipulate you off the exposure. That's what's happening here. They say on podcasts, the podcast is getting it. Okay. And then now, I heard they can buy followers now. You can buy followers. You know, they so much stuff. And you ought to be good too to listen. You know, you're gonna have to do some work. If everything is just a feel good thing to you and they steady showing you spells and how you ain't doing nothing playing Russian roulette with that because it may not work, it may work. They steady showing you a spell. I don't understand that for the life of me. Everybody want to show you hoodoo, and hoodoo is an ancestral practice, but ain't nobody talking about the ancestors, and that don't concern you. That seem to not concern anyone. They're so fascinated with learning the spell, it never occurs to them how that spell gonna work if you ain't got no ancestor veneration. I even have people want come to me that want to do hoodoo, ain't got no ancestor altar nowhere. Ain't even got one up. Want to practice hoodoo. And then when I asked him, I'm working on it. I'm getting it up. Um, uh, but you ain't scared to practice these funky spells that you don't know what spirit behind. You ain't scared of that though. But you scared to have your ancestors, your elevated ancestors in the house. Make it make sense. I just be so baffled by it. I be so baffled by it. I just be so baffled. But you ain't scared to sit up and see people do all kinds of spells. You don't know what type of what they conjuring up. You don't know none of this stuff, and you ain't scared to do it. And now you wonder why your life is raggedy, why everything is, because you keep on doing stuff that your ancestors ain't told you to do, and you doing stuff without no protection. I just sit there and watch it. God, you don't have any. Leave it alone. Leave it alone until you understand what you're doing. Leave it alone. Put it down. Get somewhere and sit down and be quiet. Just don't do nothing. Okay? I've seen them do it. Then I ask them that they're baffled. What you mean? No, what you mean? What are you doing? Well, I didn't know. That's exactly why you shouldn't be doing it because you don't know. Y'all probably gonna get upset with me, but I don't care. I'm trying to keep you safe and trying to get you to think and stop being weak minded. Okay, so you probably gonna get tired of me. And it ain't cause I don't love you. It's cause I love you. I'm telling you. Okay, just like your ancestors were telling you, it ain't cause I'm being mean to you because I don't love you. Being mean to you because I love you. Okay, and I gotta tell you like that. Maybe you look at it different. And yes, that book Major working really talk about how white went and dressed up like Arabians, stealing our culture and marketing our spirituality. They sure did. People put turpins and stuff on their head and everything. So be careful out here in what you're doing. Know what you're doing. Stop going with the trends. All these fancy it's nothing but a distraction. Because if you read these materials, your resources is steady gonna be telling you about spirit, spirit, spirit. Yeah, they're gonna give you some workings. They're gonna give you some protocol workings, but they also most of these practitioners gonna tell you none of that works without the ancestors. That had to be developed first. So if you think you finna go do a spell without any ancestor veneration or spiritual support, I advise you to put that down and get somewhere and sit down. Yeah. Don't let these folks fool you. Okay? You should be asking more questions. Okay? It's no shortcut. It's not automatically more powerful because more people are present. It is not permission to bring personal agendas into a shared workings, and it should never become opportunity to manipulate, control, intimidate, or spiritually dominate other participants. So you'll see that on in some of these rituals too. You got, I've heard so many different stories of people going in spiritual groups, participating in rituals and stuff like this, and they knew something was going on, but they didn't have enough insight to respond, properly. You know, get educated about collective rituals. Be careful about how you're going into rituals, collective rituals, and make sure if you're going to be participating, especially in our community, if I decide to do this again, because look, I mean that my last experience with bringing this to our community, uh, I was just so taken back by how people were showing up, and I was just like, no, I don't know if I want to do this again. And then it came up again with the sister in our group, and I said, she's onto something. She's ancestors is putting something together for her. She knows that she could use the support. She knows how it's going to develop her. And by the way, the questions that she was asking in the group, I knew that she was putting things together. I can tell when the ancestors is working with some of you because the things that you will ask me and some of the things you'll be telling me that you have put together in your own ritual. I know when you're doing the work because the things that you'll be saying. The group must understand what is doing and why it is doing it. making sure every participant have properly prepared for the group ritual. Because she was like, Miss Penny, should everybody be taking a spiritual bath before the ritual? I said, absolutely. They should be cleansing, spiritually and mentally preparing themselves for the big ritual at hand because they know they're getting ready to move some stuff. It's important that each participant be purified, cleansed, and balanced before engaging in group rituals. And she was putting it together too. I was like, look at her, she putting it together. Okay. Consider the energy and intentions of each individual and how they align with the goals of the ritual. It's important to select people who are open minded, respectful, and willing to engage in the practice with sincerity and dedication. Okay, it's important that we all want good for each other, that we all want to see results with each other, and that we all imagine each other getting our prayers and our petitions answered. Should want that for each other. Okay. I love to see other women win. If they put in the work and all that stuff, that makes me feel good because it's showing me that I can get it done too. So it's good when you love to see other people win, and when they win, you win. And if you have that sort of attitude in your group rituals, I mean, it enhances it. It's too many people. You go talk to some of these people in their ATR houses, and they're going to tell you how beautiful it is and how supportive they are, and how important it was when they finally got to the right house and got the right support they needed. How their life fell into place. They not gonna do nothing to jeopardize their house. They love their godparents. They love their god siblings. They love each other. They hang around each other all the time because of the work they've established and they've done together. It's hard for other people to come in there under that when they have developed that type of relationship. The good thing is you have the capability of doing the same thing in your own community. If you know what you're looking at, if you understand what you're looking at and how it works, this is what your community is there for you to do. Now, if any one of you are interested in that, like I told the sister in our community, I said, I'm up for doing it, but I'm not going to do it without a fee because I have to see that you're dedicated, okay, and that you're committed. Because I know if you pay a fee, you ain't going to go in there, come in there wasting your time. You're for real, okay? I don't mind, um, you know, leading in the ritual. I don't mind doing that if the participants are going to be for real. I'm not, because I don't like doing, I'm telling you now, that's one thing I don't like. When I start a ritual, I'm gonna start off early. If I know I'm doing rich, I'm gonna start the purification early. I'm gonna start ready to start taking my bath, bringing it all down. So by the time I get to the door of that ritual, I'm ready to cut up. I know it's gonna move. I don't like doing the stuff over. You know how frustrating that is? I can't wait till y'all get on y'all journey. And you call yourself, you think you need a road opener. Come to find out, you shouldn't even did the road open before you did the blockbuster and the uncrossing. Now you got to go back and go do the uncrossing and the blockbuster and all that stuff, and start. And I don't even know when you're gonna be to do able to do the road open again because you want to do the road opener with this full moon and with this new moon because it was the best energy for it. But because you didn't do the uncrossing work and the blockbuster work before you got to do the road, it just messed everything up. See what I'm talking about? That's why I don't like it. Because I'm just like this. I had this and now I got to wait all over again. It's a waste of my time and I don't like it. If you're gonna do it, take your time, do it right. That's what I'm talking about. You know, and we plan things here. I don't care what you see on social media. We're just not waking up tomorrow and doing a spell. No. I got to know it's gonna work. I'm not gonna waste my time with that. Okay? I gotta know if the time is right, what type of energy is available for me. Is my ancestors gonna support me in the work? Is this the work I really need to be doing? Okay. How that work needs to look. Okay. what type of purification or cleansing or bathing I need to be doing with this work. Do I want to do the cleansing work before the work, and do I want to do some bathing work while I'm doing the work? Sometimes I do that. I be doing some altar work on top of doing some bathing work, because the work sometimes it work better in layers, especially if I'm doing it by myself. I think about that because I want to work. I don't got time to be doing stuff over. Okay, I want to do it right the first time. And when you care about your craft and you care about what you're doing, you're gonna be this way too. And I'm not letting out, I love y'all not in my community, but you ain't gonna waste my time. I that's stuff I don't have a lot of. Not gonna waste my time. I just can't let you do it. Okay, so there is preparation with this. So really sit with this. That's why I have you looking at these rituals. That's why understanding ritual, understanding purification, understanding cleansing, how to show up in your ritual, how ritual should look, what to add in your ritual, how to raise the energy in your ritual. And what I love about group ritual is once you learn it, that's just like church. Church is really a ritual. Same thing. You're going to say word, you're going to give your testimony, you're going to talk about everything that happened and how God been blessing you. You're going to get on those words of power. You're going to raise the energy with your song and dance and chanting. All that is going on in church. That's how your ritual should be looking. They gave you a framework for it at church. So if your rituals is falling empty, it's because you coming in there empty. And if you coming into a ritual with me, we're going to have church. So get ready. I didn't get ready to clap your hands, stomp your feet, and feel the spirit. Because that's what's going to happen if you coming in there with me. And if you ain't coming in there like that, I'm not doing nothing else with you. So just get that out your mind. I'm not coming in there with you doing nothing like that with you no more. Okay? Because I'm not wasting my time. You got to come in there with some fire, with some real ashay. Talking about you want to conjure, you want to call. You better learn how to call down some spirits. You better learn how to open your mouth, say hallelujah, thank you, I need you. You better be knowing how to do that. You want somebody to make intercession for you. You got a lot of people, they know you got that power in you, and you got some good intercessors who can do that, who can call down spirits for you and make intercession for you. But you got some people that take advantage of that. I'm just not gonna let you do it to me because I know what I got. I know how to call down a spirit to get something done for me when I need to. I sure do. And I ain't gonna be doing I ain't gonna be wasting on nobody. No, I ain't gonna do it. Okay. And that's all what I'm trying to teach you in that community, how to do that on your altar. And nobody just placing nothing on no altar walking away. And whoever doing it, I don't they ain't getting far. I ain't getting far. Better be doing more than that. Okay. You will be doing some work. When choosing participant, clearly communicate expectation requirements of the ritual. I was very clear about that when I first introduced this to people in our community. Like I said, I think a lot of people were taken back because they was thinking, "Oh, Miss Penny is strict." No, this is really how I go. And you wasn't. I don't think our community was prepared for it. I don't know how many are prepared for it now. Like I said, I'm open to uh, collective rituals again because I know it'll benefit a lot of people in our community. It's going to give you more self confidence, and it's going to give you more skills in your own ritual once you know how it looks and know how to approach it. And it's very powerful if you have the right people with it, they will see positive results with it. Okay. When performance fails in a group, it's essential to have clear understanding of intentions behind ritual, the roles of each participant, and the overall structure of the ceremony. Group rituals can amplify the energy and focus of each individual, creating a potent environment for spiritual growth and transformation. I think I already said that. We need to know, what do you hope to achieve through the ritual? What specific outcome are you looking at? Okay, when you're thinking about going into a collective ritual, that's important. Don't go in there and you should know what you want your results to look like. Okay, are those results going to be achievable in this collective ritual, or do you think it'll happen in a couple of sittings? Okay, maybe you'll get a shift, one shift, but you might have to do it a couple of more times. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I got to break down my rituals like that. My ancestors would tell me, "Hey, we're gonna move this, but you're gonna move this, but you're gonna have to do another shift for this to happen." It happens like that. Okay. I was up there the other day with my ancestors because we had a goal. But I had been feeling a little under the weather. And I was telling them about it. I said, I don't know if I done did the right thing. I don't know if I'd have hit my goal. That's like, you'd hit the goal already. We're really tired of you asking us about the same thing. They'll tell me that too. Okay. They'll tell me that. They were like, "Why you keep asking the same thing? We already done that." I'm like, I don't see you have done that." "Yeah, we done that. Right now you should be celebrating." I'm like, "I don't even see a celebration. I don't see anything like that. It's been done." But then when I got to take care of look at the goal, I had hit my goal. And it was a really time for a celebration. So I and my daughter was able to celebrate this milestone that the ancestors had helped me on. Okay. And they really did, they helped me. Okay, so they will help you, but again, you have to have your goal, your intentions in mind, and know what you're working towards. Nothing worse. Don't think that you can come. You're gonna have to be a willing participant in fixing your life. What does happiness look like in your life? How does your life look to be fixed? How does freedom and liberation look to you? You're gonna have to actually sit down with your spirits and come up with a plan with that. Okay, get out of survival mode, slow down, and get to creating. Take back your time and start planning how your life to be. You can write out your life. I'm literally writing out my life with my ancestors. I sit here and cry because I have went over these affirmations every morning, talking about what I want, speaking over my life. Every morning I've been doing this with my ancestors, saying these psalms, saying these affirmations on top of the psalms to be clear about what I'm trying to. And everything I have said have come. I could do number cry because, man, my ancestors been doing this work for maybe a month or so. I've been on top of that psalm work and this affirmation work, and it all happened. But it wouldn't have happened had I not been consistent with my ancestors and had a plan. You're gonna have to come up with a plan, and you're gonna see it happen. But it ain't gonna happen if your ancestors don't have no blueprint, no nothing to work from. You too big in survival mode. You just too busy trying to survive. You ain't trying to plan out a happy life for yourself. You're gonna have to do it. Okay. So get somewhere and sit down. They can't help you until you have a plan. Get out of survival mode. Try to figure out what you want. Ain't gonna happen. And I just cried, and everything I put in those affirmations and all those little stories I told myself of how I want my life to look, it is happening. And I stayed on it. Okay. I'm still on it. We're still doing work together. And I just cried this morning because I was just like, "Oh my God, did it happen? Oh my God. Oh my God. My words do have power. Oh my God, my ancestors is hearing me." And I was just crying and boohooing all over them. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, these are not, tears of, sadness. They're tears of joy. And I don't even have the words to say how this is working for me." And I'm just in a beautiful place with my ancestors, and I'm growing in the relationships is getting deeper, and the faith is just getting stronger in the work that we are doing. And again, and if I didn't have a plan, I didn't have any direction where I was going, I don't think I would have this experience. I know I won't have this experience. So that's why I say you need to have a plan. They need to know how to help you. and you need to be talking that plan. I had to talk this plan on top of doing some work. The way I got my little stuff, my little system set up here, uh, you're gonna see results, but it takes consistency. Okay, clarify these intentions not only helps focus the energy of the group, but it also provides a roadmap for the ritual itself. Take time to discuss and define each tensions with the group members. It's important for everyone to contribute their ideas and insights to shape the overall purpose of the ritual. So you'll see me do that sometimes, go back with emails, and I'll send an email out and say, hey, what do you want to be added to the ritual? What song do you want add to the ritual that you feel like it will raise the energy? What chants do you want us to say together? Oh, do you want to repeat a verse together? Okay. So all of this needs to be, when you're doing collective rituals together and things like that, all of that needs to be mentioned. And then soon you guys you'll have a protocol ritual for prosperity work. And then you'll have a protocol ritual when you're doing healing work in the group, collective ritual group. You'll have your own protocol ritual that you do to do certain work. Okay, it gets easy like that, but everybody needs to have their roles. There needs to be clear intention. Somebody might have the role just to. Somebody might be doing just the music. Somebody will probably be over prayer. Somebody probably will be just the speaker. Okay, but everybody will have their role in the sacred space of raising the energy and contributing to the ritual. Okay, making sure that space is sacred. Another thing that I like doing after ritual is looking getting everybody's shared experience during the ritual, because things can go on during the ritual that'll give us an indication that result we're already starting to experience positive results. Okay, there'll be things going on. We need to talk about what have happened. Reflecting on the ritual experience is vital step in integrating the energy, insights, and transformation that occurred during the ceremony. Okay? Share your thoughts, share your feelings, your experiences, because that's going to give us a lot of information on how successful the ritual is. Sometimes doing divination after rituals are good as well. Sometimes you can receive a message for your sister or your brother during ritual to pass on to them after a ritual. So and some of us can have some of the same experiences in the ritual, what gives us a good indication that our ritual and the work we've done is going to be successful. Over time, regular group gatherings establish a heightened energetic frequency within the shared space. These sessions foster lasting connections that extend beyond the ritual itself, creating a sense of community and continuity. The structure provided by such rituals helps participants integrate the insights gained into their daily lives, ensuring that transformation is not a fleeting but enduring one. So again, the more you do these collective rituals, this is why people are getting in a lot of these organizations. They're going into Ifa, they're going into voodoo, because they know the benefits of it. That's why you should be going over there, not to thinking that you're going to get access to power and these spirits are just going to be powerful and doing everything for you. No, there's a full functioning community over there. Um, there is a connection there. There is a relationship there. There's fellowship there that makes a community like that strong. That's why you got different houses in a lot of these ATRs, because they have their fellowship, relationship. A lot of them have psychic connections with each other. And when they get together, they tap into power. Okay. I'm not going to keep you long. Is anyone have any questions about what we covered about collective rituals? You should not be confused about this. You know, I'm sorry I didn't explain it when I first started having these collective group rituals. Maybe I did, and maybe I didn't go into a lot of detail. like I did today. But now that you know how beneficial they can be and how you should be going into them, and how they can benefit you and the the care you need to take going into them. Be mindful of the things you need to be aware of. I hope it gave you a lot of insight. And I would love to see more of this go on in our community. My goal is to one day really have a house like this, have hoodoo graduates, because I think if you come to this stage in hoodoo, that's graduate sort of level, because now you understand that and you can work like that in the group. Okay. I really hope you the code to bring it back, Miss Penny. We need it. I really hope you decide to bring. You know, I really, depends on how many people want to participate in it and the quality of people, you know. But I believe charging a fee keeps the quality of the ritual. Okay. Because if you pay for it, then you're going to come in there right. You're coming there with the right intentions and that you're serious about the work. So I figure if you pay a nominal fee for it, you're going to come in there for real because you ain't got time to waste your money. You coming in there to get results. You are for real. So that's how I look at that. Because I'm for real. When I show up, and I was getting upset with it at first. I was like, I'm not going to do this. Ancestor said, don't do it because they don't understand it. Just focus on your own ritual. And then when it's brought up again, the ancestor said, "This your opportunity to explain that so people can understand why these are so beneficial, but also understand why they need to be cautious too when they're just getting in these collective rituals and who's praying for them and who's doing work with them." So I thought I would come here explain that, and so you'll know how to use your community, how to contribute to your community, and how to work with your community. And I sure don't mind doing it in our community. I love that. I know how beneficial it is. I know when you see it for yourself and it start to work and everybody starts seeing stuff shift for them, you're gonna love to come together and start doing community work. You're gonna love your hoodoo practice. Okay. You're gonna excel in your work because you'll start seeing the shifts for yourself, not just in your community, but you're going to start seeing individually. It really is going to speed up your spiritual development process. Okay, so the more serious and dedicated and committed you can be to your practice, the better you're going to be. Instead of you thinking you competing with people in community, no, you need to find ways to work with people in your community and find out who's really doing the work and start building relationships with them and start doing work with them. Now it's to start opening your heart for love and community. We've had enough of, trying to survive with raggedy people. Now it's time for us to open up our hearts and love and tap into our ancestral magic and start seeing these shifts and changes. And these is the same thing our ancestors did, nothing different. Okay. Does anyone have any more? I would be definitely love to be a part of this and 100% willing to pay a fee. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, and I want to come here and share that. So, but they've been talking about it in the ritual membership. They've been talking about it. I haven't heard anything in the other memberships, but they were definitely talking about in the ritual membership, which I think is great because it's a lot of beginners in there, and they're trying to understand ritual and how it can enhance our lives. So, I thought that was a good place. But if that's something you're interested in, we can bring it up at our next community meeting and we can talk about it a little more. Okay. All right. Any more questions for me? Anyone want to share anything? And I'm gonna let you guys go. They want to keep you long, but I thought this deserves some attention. No questions. And again, if you're in our community, if you're looking for a hoodoo community that's doing the work, you can find our link in the bio in TikTok, YouTube, and you can find and Spiritual Roots Hoodoo community on Instagram as well. And so we are a learning community. I'm very active in my community. Hands-on mentoring. We meet once a month. We have a peace and blessing. Okay. We have a once a month hoodoo meeting where we talk about our practice and talk about how it's going. We ask all the questions you can ever think of in our hoodoo meeting. And then we have a shadow work uh, hoodoo membership. It's called the Know Thyself. And this includes extensive shadow work where we meet once a month and we go over our workbook. We answer some hard questions about shadow work in that community as well. And if you're in that group, then you're going to get the hoodoo meeting and you're going to get the Know Thyself shadow work meeting as well. So you get 2 meetings a month. Okay. But either way, if you're in our community and you get that ritual conjure a Know Thyself membership, we're going to be meeting once a month in our hoodoo community. Okay. And we have group chats where you can chat with me at any time. And we have a vault of resources, lectures about hoodoo. You are not going to be confused on your journey, but you will be going over the resources. You will be doing the work. You will do work on over there. You will be getting somewhere and sitting down. Okay, getting somewhere and sitting down. I know when you're doing the work because you're not going to be asking me a lot of questions. You're going to be telling me what you're doing and how you putting things together and maybe asking me what I think. I know when you're doing the work and when you're trying to uh you with the fluff and the shenanigans and you think you're there just to suck out information. No, you're gonna learn something over there. Ain't gonna do you no good over there with the parasitic behavior. Because you're gonna work over there. Okay, I'm gonna hold you accountable. And there's no reason why you shouldn't know because we have too many resources over there answering a lot of questions. No reason why you shouldn't know because we got monthly meetings. No reason why you should know. So if you behind and confused, it's because you want to be and you're not doing the work. Okay, that's simple over there. It's really that simple. Okay, I'll be talking to you guys soon. If you have any questions, give you one opportunity to ask more questions. Put it in the chat now. If you're looking for a reading, the best way to do that is DM me. Okay, or put in your request. Let me put in my email address. Or you can email me and put this in here and request a reading that way. And usually, if you're gonna book a ancestors reading with me, I'm assume that you're ready to do ancestor veneration, and I'm just gonna assume that you're ready to heal and be whole. I'm gonna be coming up with a plan. Your ancestors gonna be telling me what you need to do to be in alignment, and so we'll go over a plan and how that needs to be looking ancestor veneration and healing. What you do, what are you doing to make self improvements? Okay. All right, you guys. I hope to talk to you